friends, peers, and colleagues. Did you get that? Taloha. Welcome back to another podcast episode of Everything from A to Z. Taloha is, and I just want to share with you as we go into this podcast about what it means. And it's really about the brand itself is about enriching the world within you so you can elevate the world around you. And I think that is such a special outlook on life. I mean, Sean's incredible. If you follow my fiance on Instagram or whatever, you'll know that he has such beautiful messages all the time. And by the way, let me plug him really quick. If you follow him at Sean Christian on Instagram, and of course, our Aloha Life Coaching, you'll get to hear a lot of what he has to say. So it's really, really great. So I just had to give him a little plug because he's amazing. Today, I want to first ask you, how are you doing? Are you doing okay? Are you good? I know life is a little tough at the moment for a lot of people, and I sometimes just want to check in and say, are you okay? And if you're not, what's going on? And how much is your heart hurting? Your wallet hurting? Are you struggling in relationships? Are you struggling in sometimes I just don't feel smart enough? I don't feel good enough. My colleagues are stepping up and I feel like I'm falling behind. These are some of the things that I just want to bring up because sometimes we don't always necessarily admit where we're stuck. When we're stuck, it's an awful place to live. And definitely when you get older, and I feel like when you're younger and in your late teens, early 20s, out of college, or if you didn't go to college, just mid to early 30s, it's like you have a lot more drive. And I think when you get to a certain age, you like slow down a little bit and you're like, I've kind of earned my keep. And why is it getting harder? Even people that I've talked to, clients that I've talked to that are in their 20s and their 30s and early into their 40s are struggling a little bit because when you're in a meeting or you're trying to step up in the conversation, but kind of feel like you can't. So many things sometimes stem back to our education. Show of hands, not that I can see you, but how many of you feel like you just don't have that little like extra lift that you need to sound as, I'm just going to use these words, as smart as you want to feel? I used to struggle with that. I used to think I didn't finish college, so I'm not smart enough. But what's crazy about today is how much is offered, how many people offer advice that you can listen to really help educate yourself. My stepson has literally done all his creative research online, and is working for a really successful clothing company, and he's doing really well and gets health benefits. It's amazing. But he did all this research online on who and how he wanted to be. So he's got a really crazy drive right now just to creating his own little empire. I always like to call our little, foundations is creating your own, like my RE empire, and you just fill your name in and it's your empire, right? So not feeling smart enough or not feeling like you know what to do next, or you're starting a new job like me. Well, I'm not starting a new job, but I'm, as I continue to build the one I have, you just look at life and you think, God, what's the next step? How do I do this? I don't know what to do. Help. I'm not smart enough. I don't know I don't know where to go. I wasn't educated in this, blah, blah, blah. So I think that there's some really great questions that you can ask yourself. And some of them are, one, do you have a fear of success? Because what does that look like? Getting to the successful part is really part of the really great journey. And you learn so much more, and it's humbling. And I think being humbled by things isn't a bad thing. I think being humbled by life helps elevate where we want to go, right? Remember that line I said at the beginning, enriching the world within you so you can elevate the world around you. It's a beautiful saying, and there's so much truth to it if you really analyze the words. So first, ask yourself if you have a fear of success, if you have a fear of getting out of the place that you are stuck in your head, because a lot of us feel like we'd rather live in the fear we know than get outside of the fear and live a life that is unknown. So here's a couple questions you can ask yourself. And they're really, really simple. And sometimes you go, all right, what you're talking about does not make sense. They don't correlate. The questions don't correlate, but they really do if you sit and think about it. Because in order to get to the discovery of you, to really discover who you are as a person, and that's going to set you moving forward and things you want to do with your life, you have to know who you are. You have to know your abilities. You have to understand who you are. I asked this to a client the other day. I said, if you were going to take yourself on a date, what would you want to ask yourself? What would you want to know about yourself? Be curious about who you are. So there's little tiny steps that you can make towards those goals about feeling successful and feeling like you can educate yourself and not feel like you can't. What makes you fulfilled? Is it, okay, I'll share with what makes me fulfilled. I absolutely love when I've audited what is important to me. I absolutely love my home. I love cleaning my house. I'm not like a clean freak or anything. I love it organized. I love it looking healthy and pretty. And I love gardening. I love that my family gets to come home to something that I am so proud of. That is so important to me. Why? I have no idea. But well, I do have an idea. I like to be grounded. And so for me, I really, really know what makes me happy. And it is creating a place of love that other people can enjoy. That's what fulfills me. What lights you up? What lights me up is my animal advocacy, taking care of things, taking care of little live things. I really enjoy that. I love making people happy. I love being able to have a great party. I love dancing. Those things light me up because I don't have to think about anything else. So then the next question is, how are you going to create your quality of life? What feelings do you have attached to that creation? So that means the quality of life is individual to you. It is very specific to what you want. So by understanding how what fulfills you and understanding what lights you up, that's how you start creating the quality of life that you want to enjoy. And that means how what are you going to do for yourself to fill that fulfillment daily and put it into your works life or whatever it is that you want to feel successful at, that makes you feel educated, that makes you feel smarter. So when I'm happier in my life because I've filled all the voids that I need to fill, I can sit down and start studying. I can sit down and start saying, I want to do more. I can sit down and say, I'm going to go learn something more today so I can share that with the people that I surround myself with or my workplace. This is my work. I want to share it with you. So if I'm going to study tidbits of how the brain operates or your frontal lobe or things like that, I'm going to go study that and understand what it means and how it's processed and what it means to create a life that you imagine. So if you can ask yourself those questions, it shifts who you want to be in your life and who you are naturally. And it makes you desire discovery, if that makes sense. So it is really all about taking care of you and being excited about exploring who you are. Because when you sit down with somebody, you sit down and you ask questions or what their interests are to create conversation and learn something about somebody else. So why not do it with yourself? So ask yourself those questions and see what you come up with so that the next steps you start taking when you're working with your colleagues, you'll start going, wait, I had a question that I was really uncomfortable with, but now I'm comfortable with asking it because I'm comfortable in who I am as a human. Because remember, there's no dumb question. If you have a question and it's legitimate, ask it. If people that you think are smarter than you make fun of you, which they shouldn't, it should be answered because maybe there's about four other people who might have the same question as you do, but are also afraid to answer it. But at least you were the one who were able to step up and say it. All right. It's a very short podcast today. I just wanted to share this with you. I hope that answers a couple of questions about how can you educate yourself or not feel strong enough in what you're doing or who you are. So I'm just going to wrap this up with a little button. I know it's a shorter podcast today, but I just wanted to share that with you. If you have more questions about that, saying, "Are you really didn't answer my question?" I'm okay with that. You didn't answer, the 5 questions that you asked in the beginning. I still don't know what you're talking about. Let me know. Email me at info@alohalifecoaching.com and say, "Hey, listen, I was listening to this podcast and I want to know more." And I'll do another one that explains more about what I'm doing. But I always want to give you the opportunity to ask yourself questions. And as you ask yourself questions, I'm giving you content. I'm giving you content to work with so that you can start developing these skills for yourself. So obviously, a lot of this takes a lot more work, feeling having good thoughts about yourself and where you are in your life. It takes work. You're not going to completely get all the answers in one podcast. I will tell you that. But if you continue to listen or replay them or hear something maybe you didn't hear before, keep doing that. That's what's so great about having these podcasts out there is you can listen to them and maybe pick up something that you didn't hear before. So keep working on you. Again, I'm available if you need a coach. I'm here to help you walk through the steps. And I know that life is not easy and we wake up every day slightly thinking different thoughts, and maybe not all of them are great. Maybe they are, maybe they really push us towards our goals. I hope that these little podcasts really kind of help you through the day. That is my goal, is just to give you a little push each day and make a difference in your life and leave a good footprint on this earth. That is my goal. So if you don't follow me, please do. On Instagram, it's alohalifecoaching.com. On TikTok, it's alohalifecoaching22. On TikTok, also personal, it's Ariane_Zucker8675. And on Instagram, it's Ari8675. So please, please, please give me a follow. And if you can, rate these podcasts. That'd be great. Otherwise, until next time, and I will have another adventure podcast coming up soon, and I can't wait to share. Okay. Thanks, guys. Bye.